If you're wondering whether the Nuova Simonelli Appia Life is the right espresso machine for your home cafe, who should actually get it, who can safely skip it, and does the price make sense for the everyday coffee lover? I've spent the last few weeks watching baristas set up shop with this model, scrolling through the handful of buyer comments, and testing the machine in a small office break room to see how it behaves when you actually need a decent shot before a meeting. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, the biggest hesitation most people have is that professional grade often means overkill for a kitchen countertop. The Appia Life sits in that grey zone where it's clearly built for a commercial environment, yet the price tag lands it in the high-end home market. That creates a tension. You want the consistency of a cafe, but you don't want to spend a small fortune on a machine you'll only fire up a few times a week. The key question is whether the extra features actually translate into a noticeable improvement in your daily cup, or whether you're just paying for the brand name. So, who really benefits? If you run a small office, a boutique bakery, or you simply love pulling multiple shots a day while experimenting with dosing and temperature, the Appia Life's professional volumetric control is a game changer. The machine lets you set the exact water volume for each shot, so you can repeat a 25-second pull for a latte every single time without guessing. In my tests, once the PID, temperature controller, was dialed in, the boiler stayed within a degree or two of the target, which means you won't get that dreaded cold water taste that sometimes shows up after the machine has been idle for a while. That kind of stability is something you usually only see in a shop that has a dedicated technician, and it saves you the frustration of constantly tweaking the grind just to compensate for temperature swing. On the flip side, if you're the type who makes a single espresso in the morning, maybe a cappuccino on the weekend, and you're happy with a reliable consumer-grade model, you'll probably find the Appia Life's learning curve a bit steep. The machine has a separate steam wand that offers enhanced steam performance, but it also requires you to manage pressure and temperature manually. For a beginner, that can feel like trying to drive a truck when you've only ever ridden a scooter. You'll end up spending more time watching gauges than enjoying the drink, which defeats the whole purpose of a quick coffee fix. Energy efficiency is another angle that often gets overlooked. The Appia Life uses an insulated boiler and a low standby power draw, so if you're conscious about electricity bills, you'll notice a modest saving compared to older commercial units that run hot all day. In a real-world office scenario, we set the machine to stay on overnight and the meter showed only a few cents extra, which is impressive for a two-group machine that can still deliver cafe-level steam. That said, the machine still needs a warm-up period of about 3 minutes before the first shot hits the perfect temperature, so if you're looking for an instant solution, you'll have to factor that into your routine. The soft infusion technology is marketed as a way to reduce channeling. Basically, it smooths the water flow through the coffee puck. In practice, it means you get a more even extraction without having to perfect the tamp pressure to the same degree you would on a lower-end machine. When I tried a medium roast with a standard 18-gram dose, the shot came out with a balanced body and a clean finish, even though the grind wasn't razor-sharp. For home users who aren't obsessively dialing in every variable, that feature can be a quiet hero, delivering consistency without the need for a full-time barista skill set. However, the strengths come with hidden trade-offs. The machine is physically larger than a typical domestic espresso maker, taking up a good chunk of countertop real estate. Its stainless steel housing feels solid, but the weight means you need a sturdy surface, otherwise you'll notice a bit of wobble when you engage the steam wand. Also, the control panel is deliberately minimalistic, no fancy touchscreens, just a few rotary knobs and a digital readout. That design choice keeps the interface durable, but it also means you won't get the visual flair of a modern consumer unit that shows brew time graphs or temperature curves in color. If you love gadgetry, the lack of flashy feedback might feel underwhelming. Maintenance is another practical consideration. The Appia Life has a built-in cleaning cycle for the brew group, which is a relief because you don't have to disassemble the entire unit every week. Yet, the machine still requires regular backflushing and a periodic descaling tasks that are more routine for a commercial environment than a home kitchen. If you're comfortable setting a reminder on your phone to run a cleaning program every 2 weeks, you'll keep the machine humming. If you'd rather forget about it until a coffee maker starts sputtering, this